Hello, welcome to Al Stock Trades. In this video, we're going to go ahead and basically talk about a new partnership that Palantir posted up with Cleveland Clinic. So if you go ahead and go to our stock terminal down here, you can see that they just posted this yesterday at 1:35 p.m. We're going to talk about this partnership and basically what it means and essentially what kind of my thoughts are. So I have been to Cleveland Clinic. I had a talk there and I was able to give a presentation on hippocampal gene expression for prognostic outcomes for essentially seizure frequency. And it was a really phenomenal experience. So we're going to go ahead and talk about what this means and, why, having this type of integration with Cleveland Clinic is going to really shape how Palantir is viewed. So a good example of what this is and what we're starting to see in this new tech fourth industrial revolutional world that we're experiencing is that, I am basically specialized. For people that don't know, I am going to become a physician. Literally next year, I'm going to be a doctor, which is crazy, right? And what's interesting here, ladies and gentlemen, is that, my level of expertise is in healthcare, right? Giving the best healthcare that I can for my future patients. The thing is, my ability to essentially transfer skills, there will always be some form of steep learning curve. However, when it comes to software engineers, obviously there is a learning curve in everything that you do, but software is software. The language of interacting with the digital world is a language. And if you understand that language, then you're able to basically create and mold and formulate a software that allows a specific industry, in this case, Cleveland Clinic, the ability to squeeze a lot out of their 24-hour day. Okay. So I also went to Mayo Clinic, did some research there, and there was a talk I had with a professor, and the professor said, he mentioned Palantir Technologies, saying how it's going to be crucial in identifying biomarkers and being able to parcelate through that. I was like, well, if they're good, why not partner with them? And the professor, I believe it was from Pennsylvania or something, said he was a guest keynote speaker. He said, well, I don't really want to make a lot of money. That's not my financial incentives are not my goal. I am a university professor, and that, I like to focus on the good of humanity. So, I didn't respond, but what I wanted to say was, well, aren't you using Zoom? Zoom is publicly traded on the stock market. You're not giving Palantir the authority to basically use these genes, but you're essentially using their software like it's a Microsoft PowerPoint license or a Microsoft Word license. So give it 5 to 10 years, and we are going to start seeing a lot of institutions, and most likely Mayo Clinic, which probably most definitely has Palantir on their radar. They just attended the healthcare conference at JP Morgan, and I know Mayo Clinic was there, and Palantir was also there. The goal here is what we're trying to basically see, and we're going to go ahead and read this article really quickly. The biggest takeaway about this is they're essentially going to design a virtual command center that is going to be integrating so much data in terms of patient bed availability, in terms of what diseases on average, based on age group, sex, previous past medical history, how long does a patient need to stay on that bed cycle, and how many tests does that patient need to use, and X, Y, and Z. And they're going to basically know how long, it takes to take care of each patient, in terms of the complication rates. And there's a lot of data, and the computer is going to be able to basically figure out a path of least resistance and optimize. The one that really got me most excited, and you can find this article, they posted on their Twitter page so you can read it more thoroughly. But the biggest thing here that I want to express here is, let's just kind of read this here, right? Or just read these two paragraphs here, right? So health systems require a dynamic solution that unlocks data from clinical and workforce systems to drive efficiency. Built on the Palantir Foundry, which is essentially their commercial side. Remember, Gotham is their, military side. The virtual command center helps better forecast patient admissions, discharges, and transfers, as well as assess the availability of caregivers and hospital beds. Leveraging Foundry's best-in-class artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities and infrastructure, the virtual command center delivers recommendations in real time, and will help managers better utilize hospital resources, adjust staffing levels, get it? Which staff needs to be present based off of the historical data contacts that they have, let's say from someone suffering from chronic kidney disease, give an example out of the thin air, reduce wait times, and ultimately provide greater access for patients. The right and then here's another one, a quote, the right software is essential to modern healthcare, and we are thrilled to be working with Cleveland Clinic to bring the experience and expertise of Foundry to enable data-driven decision-making, which is a key thing that, our medical school and many medical schools in the country is teaching. There's nothing special. Everyone's doing this right now. It's the biggest thing. And for them to lead that, it's huge. Making and apply it to hospital operations, said the COO. Not only will the virtual command center improve efficiency and financial outcomes for Cleveland Clinic facilities, but it will also allow for more patients to be seen and treated every day, which ultimately will increase the top line revenue of Cleveland Clinic and also the bottom line of Cleveland Clinic as well. That's exactly the kind of mission critical outcome Palantir was built on. So essentially what's going to end up happening is Mayo Clinic, which is obviously in competition with Cleveland Clinic and many other top hospital administration, top hospitals around the country, are going to say, wait a minute. They were literally able to increase their profit line by X, Y, and Z by using this software. I want this software. And what you're going to start to see is the snowball effect that Palantir is going to be able to use. And it's going to be like, oh, you want best-in-class AI technology? Of course. Here you go. Palantir, right? And I believe them being in the military and getting access to just so much data that the, United States military and the CIA has. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, I'm very excited to be covering this, especially now once the stock price has ultimately crashed back, nearing its intrinsic value or a little bit just below it. This is actually really great to see. And once Palantir develops that, they already have the moat, but once they convince other institutions like Cleveland Clinic, their moat, not only they're going to dominate the healthcare sphere, they're going to be dominating the space sphere in terms of space travel and using that data. And not just that, being able to obviously do supply chain issues, which they've already done with the COVID vaccine. Like I said in the beginning of the video, my expertise is going to be in medicine. That's my expertise. That is, what I'm trained on in the residency of my choosing. That's going to be my expertise. Yes, I can expand those skills and go on other things, but in terms of software engineering, which I'm trying to learn in terms of coding, I'm better than most folks. I was able to design the stock terminal and be able to do those things, but I want to take it to the next level. It's going to take me time. But individuals that don't do that are going to miss out on this opportunity that we have and this ability to have a software be able to be a part in everyday life. You're viewing me right now on your computer, which is software driven and hardware driven. I'm using hardware integrated into form software to get you and relay this information to you. We are living in the digital age, and we're starting to get to a point now where, let's say, Ukraine, that has a smaller military than Russia, they're able to basically defend and win a war all because of software. Not all, they obviously have a will to fight, but again, software, and you can basically talk to any Ukrainians, as what Alex Karp stated, the software works. And once others realize that, we are going to start to see an increase in revenue unlike we've never seen before for Palantir. It is definitely one of those companies that's up there, and I'm very excited to see and follow it. So if you definitely want to hear more about how our coverage works on Palantir, we're going to hit the fundamental balance sheets and the statement of cash flows, income statements, do an intrinsic value calculation. Please subscribe to this channel, and also please comment, as I do read your comments. Sometimes I don't respond, but that's because I'm like walking up the stairs or something in the hospital, and I'm reading them, and and I listen to you guys. Okay, I value you guys a lot, and your time that you spend into basically creating a great discussion on Wall Street, which has been unfortunately barricaded from Main Street. Thank you again, and I will see you on the next one.